Okay. So today's trial is about 3 topics. Did Mr. Mordecai King commit the crimes he is being accused of? Is he far along in his dementia that he doesn't understand or remember any of the actions he previously taken? And would punishment be appropriate for someone with the degree of dementia Mr. King displays? I personally think that he did commit several of the crimes he is being accused of today, but is he responsible for his actions? Is his dementia so severe that he shouldn't be held responsible? In a more clear-cut case of severe dementia, a defendant would not be charged with the crimes he had committed. Punishment would not benefit this person since it misses the point. Instead, the person would be placed in a special care facility indefinitely until death. So I think this is a hard decision to make. I personally think that with the information and the testimony and the arguments presented today, that Mr. King is aware that he committed the crimes he was accused of, at least to some degree. And therefore, I think punishment, to some degree, is warranted. He does seem to display dementia, but is he far along? I don't think so. He seems to remember quite a bit, to be fair. And I think the prosecution made that point very clear today. So, in regards to charges, I'll be listing off the charges and whether he is guilty or not guilty of the following charges. So 1 times reckless endangerment, he is guilty. The reason being is because he was found in a motor vehicle crashed and he had no concept of appropriate documentation, which does put the lives of other people in danger. Driving without a driver's license, guilty. That one is obvious. His license was expired. Reckless driving causing death. I have a shadow of a doubt that there wasn't a death committed. Some of the officers weren't able to even recall if there was a civilian incapacitated or otherwise at the scene, and a photograph of any civilian would have probably been appropriate to be submitted in evidence to prove. That would have made this pretty much simple. So reckless driving causing death, not guilty. 1 times GTA. This one's a hard one. I'm going to say not guilty, but he was in possession of that vehicle and that vehicle was stolen property. So I do believe that he is guilty of 1 times possession of stolen property. Now, in regards to time that he should serve, give me 1 moment, tally this up. Okay. Oh shit. We can talk about the time in a second. Prosecution, do you have any sentencing recommendations for Mr. King?
Your Honour, I believe that the sentencing as of the code of law would be appropriate, with the recommendation of a time served for the duration of this trial.
And okay. And defense, do you have anything to say in regards to your client, who is currently not present in this room?
Whispering.
Could you speak up, please?
No, Your Honor. I do appreciate the prosecution's recommendation. I do believe my client has served time leading up to the trial as well. But other than that, no.
Okay.
I have nothing else, nothing further, Your Honor.
So at this moment, he will be provided with sentencing credits. I think an appropriate amount would be, well, we can discuss that in a second, to be honest. That's going to involve a little bit of math. In regards to what happens after his sentence, or whether he actually goes to jail or not, I do think that it is paramount that he goes and is committed to a care facility that takes special care to making sure he cannot be a problem in society again. I think the defense had gave a recommendation for a. Could you remind me of the facility you gave a recommendation of?
It's Parsons Rehabilitation Center.
Okay. So I would ask, as a court order, that Mr. Mordecai be committed to that facility indefinitely after this trial and after any additional sentencing that he needs to serve in the event that he still has to serve any time. But at the moment, the trial is finished.
Your Honor,
Yes, prosecution.
apologies if this is a suggestion of my inexperience. However, I'd like to request a motion.
Okay.
The motion is that the prosecution understands that the dementia that Mr. King is suffering with is present and advancing at a certain rate. However, in this situation, the Ingleside, or whatever it was called, facility has proved negligent in one way or another, allowing Mr. King to be out in society where he has then caused quite a ruckus within the community. What we would request to the courts is that if Mr. King is found being outside of that facility and commits a crime, that he be incarcerated with the Department of Corrections where he can be properly looked after in a secure facility where there is no chance that he'll be able to escape, in order to protect the people of San Andreas and to prevent from anything like this happening again.
Okay. Defense, do you have anything to offer in regards to that?
Yeah, I just want to point out that the recommendation of Parsons Rehabilitation Facility was for the same reason, because I also believe that the Ingleside facility did not provide adequate care for my client in his condition, and were negligent in allowing him to leave unattended, and that's why I recommend the other, the more reputable facility, Parsons Rehabilitation Center.
Okay. If Mr. Mordecai King is found outside of Parsons Rehabilitation Center, I think it would be appropriate for him to be incarcerated, because it would be of my opinion at that point in time that mental care facilities are not capable of keeping Mr. Mordecai King at their location. So, District Attorney, I will grant that motion in the event that he is found outside of that new care facility.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay.
All rise. Court is now adjourned. You may be dismissed.